Before we even knew what we had, we patented it, we packaged it, we slapped it on a plastic lunchbox, and it's here for your viewing pleasure, the Powerful Nerdcast. Hello, my friends. It's back for another episode, fourth week in a row. We are actually doing this.
We deserve 1 million views at this point.
We do. Fucking willpower. Hal Jordan, we're making it happen. Christian, as always, is joined with me, and we have a pretty exciting episode today. Actually, that really all depends on you guys. We were really excited to talk about this week's chapter of One Piece, which unfortunately has been delayed.
Yeah, it just seems that, sometimes you get the 2-week breaks because the next chapter is going to be awesome. I'm excited about getting back to the current timeline and no more flashbacks. And I think I made a joke earlier. They just wanted to make sure Odin was well done.
Well, here's the thing. We do have an official announcement about this from Weekly Shonen Jump. One Piece's sudden break in Weekly Shonen Jump, issue number 14, is due to its author, Eiichiro Oda, suddenly falling ill.
He's got corona.
That's the first thing to instantly jump to. Yes, he might. No, he probably doesn't. This is really common.
Goes well with Lyme disease.
Oh, Jesus. Who hasn't made that joke?
I know.
The point is, this is really common for people who draw manga, work on manga, the actual industry in Japan. These dudes are worked to the damn bone. 16 tons, what do you get? A big sickness every couple of weeks. That's what happens with these guys because they're just constantly working on one thing all the time. And you have to realize that this man has been working on this series since the frigging 90s with barely any breaks at all. So it's not uncommon for something like this to happen. And honestly, these guys need a break as long as it doesn't go into Hunter x Hunter territory where they...
Or Berserk land.
Or Berserk world, which, at least with Berserk, it's a little more consistent, but like...
You at least know every 6 months you're getting a chapter.
At least you know that's going to happen. With Hunter x Hunter, you're flipping a coin practically every single day. But, it's understandable. Is it disappointing? Yeah, sure. It always sucks when you're not going to get the chapter you want. But that's just the way the world works. Still, I'm very excited to see when One Piece is going to return because I've loved talking about it again. That's been one of my favorite things about bringing the podcast back is just being able to discuss One Piece because things are getting really exciting in the series. But, just personal message. Oda, hope you feel better. Get the rest that you need so we can get the next chapter.
Yeah, Oda-sama.
Anywho, we're going to go ahead and move on. There are other things that we like to talk about other than anime and manga, and one of our favorite things has always been movies. And something that's always been near and dear to my heart, and I know yours, Christian, is that we are fans of Jurassic Park.
I'm a very big fan of Jurassic Park. Grew up with it. Had a poster of the T-Rex, like with the flipped car with a tire in his mouth. I had the whole...
I know the distinct image.
Yeah, know exactly what I'm talking about. I grew up with that, and what kid didn't love T-Rex? Mm-hmm. So it was such a cool, main character to put in that movie, and I think I know where you're going with this, though.
That's right, because we finally just got the big subtitle of the latest chapter in the Jurassic Park saga, or really, I should say the Jurassic World saga. Director Colin Trevorrow is actually going to be bringing us the next movie again. It is Jurassic World Dominion. That is going to be the name of the movie, and
I think they literally go online and just find the most badass words and just mush them together.
As long as it wasn't like Jurassic World Resurrection or
Reloaded.
Reloaded. Were we going with Matrix subtitles at this point?
I'm going with that, Revolution or whatever it was called.
But the point is they finally just started filming this brand new movie, which has got a lot of hype behind it. We've discussed Jurassic Park and Jurassic World at length on this podcast before.
Yes.
In fact, when we first started doing the podcast, one of our very first ones actually was right before Jurassic World came out. That's how long we've been doing this.
Was that the first one or the second one?
That was... Well, here's the...
I'm talking about the Chris Pratt ones. The Chris Pratt
ones. It was the first of the Jurassic World movies.
Yes.
It was the fourth Jurassic Park movie.
Yes.
And now we're on the sixth Jurassic Park movie, which is the third Jurassic World movie.
Okay, Wikipedia.
You can see why this can get pretty fucking confusing, to be perfectly honest.
I'm just call it the Pratt-verse. The Pratt.
It's Jurassic Park 6, Jurassic World 3. That's basically...
That'd be a horrible title. Thank God they didn't go with that.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much what's going on with these movies. But we finally got our title. We started with Jurassic World. We went to Fallen Kingdom. Now we have Dominion.
I also love the way they advertise movies now because this wasn't maybe it was an official announcement, but the way I saw it was Chris Pratt's Instagram, and he take a picture of the slate, the clapper.
Yeah.
You know, and it was like, he's like, yay, day 1 of 100.
100 days of filming.
Oh,
It's
my
gotta be a
God.
pretty massive movie. I
Yeah,
mean,
it's going to be big. But
I mean, it's pretty common though for like big Hollywood.
is there a
movies to go for
synopsis
that
of
long.
this? Like, do the dinosaurs in real world now or not on islands?
That might as well be the entire story.
That was a poorly worded sentence, but the intent was there.
Are dinosaurs in my backyard?
Whoa!
Yeah, there really isn't actually a full synopsis of the movie yet. We can just sort of assume that it takes place at the end of Fallen Kingdom. Dinosaurs are now out in society. If you're in freaking Southern California, you're fucked because Blue is out there and he's gonna eat your fucking dog.
Yeah.
You know, there's the T-Rex who's going around destroying shit. There's scientists who now have access to dinosaur DNA and are probably gonna be cloning them all over the place. There's a giant fucking mosasaur just swimming around in the ocean, so stay the fuck out of the water.
Yep.
You know, it's gonna be about how society deals with the fact that dinosaurs are back and they're just gonna have to deal with it.
It's going to be like Detective Pikachu, but with dinosaurs.
But with a lot more probably ridiculous PG-13 violence.
Yes.
What is interesting about the movie, however, and these are just the type of things that I notice because, you know, I'm a stupid nerdy guy who only notices this shit. When they started the Jurassic World movies, the branding kind of took like a different aesthetic look to it. Originally, like the logos and everything for Jurassic Park was done like in a black, red, and yellow style. And then when they moved on to Jurassic World, they went with this like brand new sort of like chromed out silver and blue look.
Oh, yeah,
But the logo for Jurassic World Dominion is going back to the classic style.
Yeah. It practically looks like the original poster. They just put a new subtitle on it.
Exactly. And, you know, that's just a minor thing. But, of course, the biggest deal about this movie is that it's sort of going to be like a culmination of the entire Jurassic Park franchise because we're going to be seeing pretty much every major character playing a role.
But
in
we're
this
not going to
movie.
just see who. This is the thing. Yeah, okay, I know where you're going with this. All the original casts are coming back. It's
Yeah.
great, but they could just do what they did with Jeff Goldblum, which just use him in the end or the beginning real quick, and he never actually is
Which
actually.
was bullshit because
He
I
wasn't
remember when
in the movie.
Yeah,
it was
and
just like, you know, he was there for the trailer shots.
like when they were showing the trailers and the promotional material for Fallen Kingdom, almost everyone used that scene of Dr. Ian Malcolm where he's in the courtroom doing his whole spiel about welcome to Jurassic World. And that was literally just like the end of the movie.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't like he was in the fucking movie.
Like, he didn't do shit. Like, Jeff Goldblum didn't have to stand while making that movie. He got to sit in a chair and do his Jeff Goldblum thing. I really hope they're going to take some more of an active role in this movie because I like those characters a lot more than I like the ones from Jurassic World. Don't get me wrong, Chris Pratt is fine, but Chris Pratt is really good at playing Chris Pratt. And that's and maybe that's a little stereotypical, or not stereotypical, a little contradicting of me saying, because, you know, Jeff Goldblum always plays Jeff Goldblum in a way. He's one of those actors like Christopher Walken or Samuel L. Jackson. You know, you don't go to the movies to see their character, you go to see them.
And they're huge stars,
Yeah.
but they pretty much get to play themselves.
Yeah.
Just like, but unlike a huge star like Robert Downey Jr. Or who's the guy from Titanic? Why am I blanking on his name?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, like these are actors that transform into their roles.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like then you get Samuel L. Jackson. He's just Samuel L. Jackson as a Jedi.
Yeah. Or Samuel L. Jackson with an eye patch.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson as a mobster. Or
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson as a cop. Like, it's just,
It's different.
you know, and sometimes that can work, sometimes it can't. But for like someone like Chris Pratt, like, you know, even in the Guardians movies, like, I don't know. He's
Did you see Lego Movie 2 yet?
No,
Dude, it's so
you
good.
almost made me watch the movie on a plane once. I remember
Yeah.
you showed me a scene from the movie.
Where it's his evil brother twin person he teams up with, and he has a spaceship, but it's piloted and crewed by raptors.
Getting back to Jurassic Park, yeah. You know, I saw the first Lego movie, and I thought it was fun. I had no desire to ever to watch it again. I liked the unique art style of the movie, and I completely even forgot the sequel happened until you reminded me of it.
I didn't know. I forgot it happened as well. But the thing is, the movie is kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah.
Just like retold through Legos and outside the Marvel universe. But the like elements of it are very similar.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, like even his character, his evil brother character or evil father or evil whatever it is character,
Yeah.
is practically Snake Plissken.
Okay, yeah.
And that is practically, that was the character.
Was it actually Kurt Russell?
No, but he was very much modeled after him.
Okay.
But it's funny because Kurt Russell was in Guardians 2 as his dad.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm like, why is there this crossover is so layered, you know? And it's like the Lego
they really
movie.
tried to pull from like everything Chris Pratt has done.
Yes, exactly. They
You know?
really weaved
and
it all in
wasn't
there.
he, he's originally from what, Parks and Rec?
Yeah.
Isn't that the show he's from?
Yeah,
originally?
he was the bumbling idiot. He was never supposed to be on that show for more than like 2 episodes. He was
Okay.
just supposed to be the dumb, goofy boyfriend. But then everyone liked him so much, he ended up staying till the end of the show until he got Guardians.
All right, so that's where he sort of got his start. Guardians is where he arguably became like super famous.
Yeah, A+ star.
And I like him okay in Guardians. He's definitely one of my least favorite members of the team.
Look, he was great in Guardians 1. He was okay in Guardians 2, and ever since
Infinity War,
people
hated him.
Well, the other thing
He
is
fucked up.
the other thing is I don't think he's hit the tempo and the excitement of Guardians 1 in anything else he's done. And some people would probably completely disagree with me, but I don't think he's that. His star power is ever shown as brightly as when he did Guardians. I don't know. Maybe people disagree with me.
Well, even in Jurassic World, which is, that was a big role for him to grab, by the way. It's like I just starred in a Marvel movie. Now I'm starring in the sequel to one of the biggest franchises of all time. Like he was really,
okay in that, yeah.
And he was okay in that, but totally forgettable. I don't even remember the character's name. I only remember it because I'm looking up the cast right now. His character's name is Owen
He does the thing
Grady.
with the Raptors.
Like that's, whoa, right here. Like, there wasn't much to his character. Maybe it's just because, when we were kids, we watched Jurassic Park so damn much.
I don't know. Look at the original Jurassic Park. You got paleontologists. You got the lawyers. You got whatever Jeff Goldblum's character was. Like
The chaotician.
The chaotician. What I'm saying is everyone had a role to play, while Chris Pratt was just generic animal trainer guy.
Yeah.
And that didn't do much.
Generic animal trainer Han Solo.
Yeah. He pretty
much the entire movie. The way he
Attractive,
butted heads with Bryce Dallas Howard, who's, again, don't even remember her character's name. I just remember Bryce Dallas Howard.
I just know she was in charge of operations for the park.
And she said the word asset a lot.
Yeah, because she didn't see these things as living. Like
Exactly.
she was a corporate person that her mindset evolved.
And again, they felt that these characters could carry the next film, which to me, they
No.
didn't at all.
No.
Like, at all. Whereas in the original movie, you have Sam Neill playing Dr. Alan Grant. Sam Neill is a great actor, first and foremost. And Grant, it was a character who, I don't know, there was something about his character that I thought was just really, he was the straight man of the entire team. He's the guy that was supposed to get swept up in all of this, but he's the guy we end up identifying with a lot because shit be fucked up in this giant dinosaur theme park.
Yep.
You had Dr. Ian Malcolm, who's arguably probably the most popular character from the franchise.
Yep.
Just has so many memorable lines and is sort of a great juxtaposition to Alan Grant. You have freaking Ellie Sattler, played by Laura Dern, and again, she's sort of like that super inquisitive type of character who doesn't get too annoying, but is also very capable on her own as well. And then you just have random characters that I always remember, like Robert Muldoon, the Australian game guy, who's obsessed with the dangerous stuff with the Raptors.
Yep.
Dennis Nedry, played by Wayne Knight.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're comparing.
Even Samuel L. Jackson was in Jurassic Park, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. I would say though one of his smaller roles actually.
Yeah.
But
Got eaten by a raptor.
But let's be honest, Steven Spielberg makes some great characters.
He does. He makes memorable, identifiable characters. And while he has had a hand in some of these movies,
no, don't even pretend it's the same as
It's
his first
just not.
one. Yeah, no, it's not. And the thing is, that's the difference between Steven Spielberg and these new movies. They just slap some star power on the front end of it, throw some special effects on it, play the music you remember. Everyone gets tingly and nostalgic. And
I'm
then
not gonna lie, we went and saw Jurassic World together. I remember distinctly,
and I liked it
because you and your wife Dana, went and saw it with me.
Well, you just said my wife's name. The internet knows now. Anyway, keep going.
Whatever. There is no Dana, there's only Zool.
Yeah.
We went and saw Jurassic World, and I remember watching that scene at the very beginning when they're riding on the monorail and going into the park, and you hear that John Williams. When that music played, it was epic. I was like, oh wow, I'm 7 years old again. This is great. And then the characters started talking. It was just like, oh jeez. This isn't exact, but at least it still carried a lot of the fun, crazy atmosphere. Fallen Kingdom is hilariously where everything fell apart.
The scene where at the end of the first Chris Pratt Jurassic World movie, where the T-Rex screams over the over the island. After it went, that was badass.
It's an epic shot.
It's an epic shot.
You know, and it's stupid as hell, but watching the Rex and the Raptor fight against the Indominus,
it's dumb.
Was awesome.
Dumb and awesome.
It was dumb and awesome, especially when the Mosasaur jumps up and bites him and pulls him in. Because it's couldn't the Mosasaur have just done that any time there was someone walking by the railing?
Yes, he just wasn't hungry then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that type of, it's turn your brain off popcorn film. And I liked Jurassic World for that. It's definitely not my favorite. Jurassic Park will always be my favorite of the franchise and is also in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
I mean, it still looks
great. I love
great.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, it still
it's
looks
just
great.
such a part of why I like movies in the first place. And I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this one. I mean, if it's anything, this is the direction I've been wanting the movies to go in for a long time, because we've done the whole let's go to the island and run around from dinosaurs crap. We've done the whole theme park thing now. Technically we did it twice, more so in Jurassic World. Now we're finally getting to the whole dinosaurs in society thing. And that's what I've been wanting to see the most. Did you ever see that little short film?
I only saw like pieces of it, but I know the family camping, and then the dinosaurs show up. And,
exactly.
Yeah, that's all I know.
liked that whole little short film more than all of Fallen Kingdom.
I bet Fallen Kingdom was like Scooby Doo. It was stupid. It was like a haunted mansion with a monster raptor following her. It was dumb.
The Indoraptor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was dumb. It wasn't good.
No.
So, yeah, and I didn't even see it. I just saw the ending on YouTube.
Okay, well, in any case, I liked that short film more because it's like, this is what I want to see. I want to see what happens when people, in the real world are going to have to deal with dinosaurs. I wonder how this is going to take place in the film, though, if it's only going to be confined to, like, a specific part of the world. Is it only going to be America? Are there going to be dinosaurs all over the world? Because they implied at the end of the last movie that there's scientists who have this DNA. And they can just make their dinosaurs.
Just squirt dinosaurs everywhere.
Squirt dinosaur juice all over the place, and then they'll grow up like Cybermen coming out of the ground. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm just interested to see if the movie's going to start like slowly showing these dinosaurs just appearing, or if we've just gone into Planet of the Apes territory where there are just dinosaurs all over the place already.
I hope it's like that.
Yeah.
Let's keep it moving.
Let's just get chaotic with it. I mean, if we're going to go stupid with Jurassic Park at this point,
yes,
let's just do it.
They almost committed to it on one of the original ones, when they had the T-Rex in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like that
was like a taste of what could happen.
I wanted that times 50, or 100.
Yeah, that's kind of what. Yeah, that's. You took the words out of my mouth. That's what I want to see. I want to see the San Francisco attack for an hour and a half with all types of dinosaurs and shit just going crazy.
And the dudes from Pacific Rim show up, the first one only, and they fight the T-Rex. It's gonna be great.
This is getting weird.
Oh, okay, now it's too much.
But yeah, like I said, I'm excited for the movie because I'm stupid and I like Jurassic Park. I was excited for Fallen Kingdom. I went and saw it and I was
indifferent.
I mean, I'm going to be there day one.
Okay.
That's just the way I am. I have to see how this thing is going to go. I've always been such a big fan of the franchise. And it's going to be fun, I think, to see all these characters finally back together and interacting with one another. Jurassic Park 3, not a very great movie.
No.
But it was still at least held up by the fact that Sam Neill came back and it kind of gave it that feel of the old movie a little bit.
I thought that was a good place to end it, too.
Yeah, Jurassic Park. I thought the first one was a good way to end it personally.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't like The Lost World that much either, but it still didn't like turn me off as much as, say, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. But I just want to see this shit go crazy. That's all I want to say. I want them to really follow through with it, and please reduce the role of Justice Smith, because in the last movie all he did was just scream like a little bitch. He was the kid from Detective Pikachu.
Oh, yeah.
Which thankfully in that movie he did not scream constantly, but that's all he did in the last movie, so yeah.
Well, I wouldn't know. I didn't watch it.
No.
Yeah. So
I highly recommend at least giving it a watch if you can. If you don't have to pay for it.
Yes.
Watch it before the new movie comes out. Like I said, I'm there day one, and I'm interested to see if this is going to be the end of the franchise, or if Universal is just going to continue to suckle the Triceratops teat. So we'll just see what happens.
Anyway.
That fresh Triceratops milk. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and move on from there. Yeah, I know. It's not really the smoothest segue in the world, but it is a segue nonetheless. So, Jordan Peele. We love Jordan Peele. We quote Key and Peele all the damn time.
I watch a new Key and Peele sketch that I didn't know existed once a week.
I know.
Like,
it's crazy. Like, I remember watching that show a lot, but it seems like every week they upload something from their show on YouTube that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Whether it be the funny burn victim one, or the Family Matters one. Or even better, the Magical Negro.
Oh, dude, that skit is great.
It is.
With the animated bird and everything.
Exactly.
And, oh my God.
It's fantastic. So Jordan Peele obviously is a really sharp guy. He's a great writer. He's really funny. But the last couple years he's been breaking out into horror. He's made a lot of really big movies.
The Get Outs.
The Get Outs.
The Get Ins.
the
The Get
Us.
Sideways. The Footloose. I'm just making up shit.
The fuck? Anywho, point is, Jordan Peele is a fan of horror films, and he wants the world to know it because he's been making them consistently. And he's about to revive a classic movie from the 90s, one that I know you're not too familiar with.
I don't think many people are.
It's kind of a cult horror film. He is making a remake of Candyman.
Because the Candyman can.
That's right, he can. So, do you have any sort of history with this movie?
No, I mean, we chatted so briefly about this before the podcast started, and to be honest, you kind of refreshed me on what it was. It's like this like thing where you say a chant, and then he'll show up.
It's Bloody Mary with a hook hand.
Yeah, but does he grant wishes like a genie, or does he just kill you?
He is not a genie. He straight up, I think, just kills you.
Well, then why would you ask him over?
I know, that's... It's like the whole Bloody Mary thing. It's like, why would you, if you don't want to see this creepy thing, why would you do this? But yeah, Candyman is one of those, like, really cult horror films that it blew up in the 90s, and it's one of those movies that's way better than the sum of its parts in many ways. But unfortunately, like a lot of other classic franchises, it got sequel after sequel after sequel, which ended up really, really sucking. But what's very interesting about the movie, of course, is that unlike a lot of horror films, it features an all-black cast. It takes place in an urbanized setting, and that immediately gives it like a different aesthetic. And of course, Jordan Peele loves to focus on that aspect in his storytelling.
Yeah, race is definitely something he's really good at writing about.
Which is good. You know, I'm all for representation in film, and I do. You know, I rarely say this. I rarely talk about this stuff, but I do believe, you know, black people in general are underrepresented in horror film all the time. It's always
they're
just
represented in a bad way.
Yeah. Like it's
the
always
first
a bunch
guy to
of
get
dumb
killed.
white people who ended up getting killed, and that was something that I always found really fascinating about Candyman. But also, you know, it's a pretty political film as well. But the original movie, when it came out, was directed, I think it was Clive Barker, maybe. But do you know who Tony Todd is?
No, that name
Tony
sounds
Todd.
familiar though.
He's an actor that you'll probably recognize if you see him, and he's the guy who played Candyman in the original film. I don't think he's coming back for the original, but I'm interested to see what Jordan Peele's actually going to be doing with this movie, because they actually just released the trailer this morning, and it looks pretty damn creepy.
Really? I didn't know there was a trailer for it.
Yeah, it just
okay,
came
I'll
out
have to
today.
watch
They
that.
released a trailer. They released this poster right here, which I think looks really great. It's a hook covered with honey and a bee, and that's all tied, of course, to Candyman's origins as well, which I don't think you really know anything about.
No, I don't know any of that.
I'd rather not tell you.
Okay.
Because it's a really creepy origin, and
I'll Google it later and spoil it for myself.
Yes, and it does feature a number of actors that I have personally never heard of, and names that I am almost certainly going to butcher, such as Yaha Abdul Mateen II, Tiana Paris, Nathan Stewart Jarrett, that one's an easy one, Coleman Domingo, and Tony Todd is going to be returning, but not as the actual title character. It looks like it's going to be more of a cameo. But this is Jordan Peele we're talking about, and I don't know if did you ever see Get Out?
No, I didn't. I didn't see any of his movies, I'll be honest, but I know his tension, his way he shoots and writes.
He's a great shooter.
Yeah,
that's one thing I want to say. Like his style is like solid.
The intensity of everyone knows that shot of the main character of Get Out, like framed center, and he's like that one tear coming down. He's like freaking out. Like you can feel so much through that scene, but yet I have no idea what's going on. I've never seen the movie, but I know that scene is telling me a lot.
Okay, I highly recommend checking Get Out. Us is one that I actually watched about a month ago for the very first time.
Yeah,
I finally sat down and I watched it, and it was good. I didn't like it as much as Get Out, but again, it was shot incredibly well. And man, is it always a surprise to see Tim Heidecker in anything?
That's not Goofy where he does this?
Well, he's still Tim Heidecker, and he plays.
Can you do a Tim Heidecker face, Corey?
You gotta like double chin everything. That's what he does.
Tim Heidecker.
It was really surprising to see him in that movie, though. But yeah, it was a really shocking part for him in that movie too. But it was really good. But the thing about Jordan Peele's movies is they're not scary in the shit's gonna pop out.
Gonna
and
get you.
A loud bang sound that's gonna try and freak you out. They are very psychological.
He earns the scare.
He does.
Yeah.
It's a more old school kind of horror in a sense, and I think it's in many ways more scary in that sense. However, Candyman is a franchise which is known for its gore and its violence, so I'm sure we're gonna see something like that more so in this movie.
I'm cool with that.
But yeah, I'm cool with it. I'm just really interested to see what he's going to be doing with all that shit next, because I liked the original. I hated the sequels, and I thought that was just kind of it for the franchise. They weren't going to do anything. But now that Jordan Peele is behind it, and he's going to be putting production value into it, I'm really interested to see how this is going to go. The trailer, like I said, check it out, man. I think it looks really fantastic.
I'll definitely watch after the podcast today.
It looks really well acted, and it doesn't give anything away, and it looks creepy as shit, which is exactly what I'm hoping.
Well, the Candyman can come to theaters next fall.
If there aren't 100 other people who don't say that this year, I'm going to be shocked, man. Like it's
a good line.
It is a good line. I really like it.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what he does. I'm
Yeah.
glad he's taking on. In some ways, I'm kind of mad that the guy abandoned comedy.
I kind of hope he gets back to comedy.
I think. Look. He is an artist.
Yeah.
Like, let's not say I'm mad that he's stressing his art out there. I'm just like, dude, you were such a great comedian, and maybe it's because he's such a good writer. He can write both worlds really well and execute in them. But I'm like, I love your comedy, and I really wish you'd balance your drama with your comedy because drama's fun, but man, it wears me out. Like I can't watch drama all day. Like it just taxes me. Or scary movies all day. But man, I can watch comedy or well, this is just me. I really like learning. So like I can watch like an informational video all day on YouTube, and I can watch comedy or a podcast all day on YouTube. But most of the podcasts I like are funny podcasts. But the point is that but dramas and horror movies, I'm like good for like one a month. It's like it wears me out. Like, I don't like it.
No, I think variety is important when it comes to viewing that stuff. I like to like switch. I like a horror movie, an action movie,
Porn.
a comedy, a documentary, pornography.
Mix it up.
You gotta mix that stuff up a little bit. I don't know. You can go down a dark rabbit hole if you watch too much drama. It's like you said. Like you watched, what was it, Parasite?
Dude, I love that movie. It was so good.
Like that probably mentally. Is it a comedy though?
It's more of a
drama.
It's a reflection on society piece. Done through a micro study of this one family. And I like to describe it as, you guys being an anime audience, you would understand this. It's like if you took the family from Gurren Lagann, the goofy family that always like has a little dog and you know what I'm talking about. I don't even know their names, but if you know Gurren Lagann. Wait, I'm not saying it right. It's not Gurren Lagann. It's Kill La Kill.
Kill La Kill.
The Kill La Kill family that's supporting the main character as their like adopted family, like that goofy family with the dad and everything. Yeah. It's like that. If you shove that family into this Korean drama film, and it was like played by real people. It's just such a great film, though. And I don't really know.
The Shoku family.
The Moncon Shoku family. That gives it obvious, what I'm talking about now. And but the point is, it's a great film. I don't even know how to discuss it without kind of giving it away. Like, maybe just watch the trailer. And if you like it, go watch it. Because it's a good film.
But is it the type of movie that, like, you watch it and you're drained?
Actually, I don't think so, because it's not super gory. There is a little blood, but it's not super gory.
Oh, it's violent?
Oh, there's some violence. There's some really fucked up violence in that film, actually. But not in like a tortury Saw way. Like, just like, oh my God, like that woman fell down the stairs and hit her head.
That reminds me. Keep going. But,
anyway, Parasite was great. I'm glad it won Best Something. Whatever that award was, I never pay attention to that stuff. And I found it hilarious that Trump immediately said, why are we giving our awards to foreign films? And then everyone's like, he can't read well. That's why he doesn't like it. He has to read the subtitles.
Well, it's a foreign film category, you fucking asshat.
No. They won Best Picture.
Just won Best Picture?
Just Best Picture. Yeah.
Well, it was a good movie. It deserved it.
And it's very topical of the people that have less versus the people that have more. It explores that territory really well. The haves versus the have-nots. Is there really a difference between us? Besides our situation we find ourselves in, is kind of what the movie tackles.
All right, so going forward, when it comes to the best movie, are they going to now just start considering all foreign films?
Yeah, probably if they do well. Probably because Hollywood is so important. In Hollywood, it's so important to be inclusive in a kind of a fake way that they're probably just trying to include more people.
Also, I think they have to do this now because
we're in a global environment,
streaming services are destroying the movie industry. So, now we just can't let it be the Hollywood club. We got to let everybody play now.
There's the Netflix. There's the Amazon. I still love Miss Maisel. If you have Amazon Prime and you're not watching Miss Maisel, I would recommend checking out the first 3 episodes of of that series.
What the hell is Miss Maisel?
It's about a female that wants to become a stand-up comedian in the 50s, and she pretty much
I
has...
bet that works out great for her.
No, she has to overcome a bunch of shit, and then she gets this great manager, and it's the woman that voices Lois on Family Guy. You know, looking like a man.
Alex Bornstein.
Yeah. She even has a dude name. Anyway, she plays like this. She's like a general neutral person, and she's like her manager, and they go on adventures. And they have to take on this male-oriented society, and hell, even comedy's kind of new in the 50s. And Lenny Clark's there. He gets to play a role. The actor that plays him's great. And she just goes to all these clubs, and she has to learn how to be a stand-up comedian, and she's really funny and quick. And the writing is like, I don't really care about great writing. Usually it's either good or bad. Like, either it's worth watching and I'm enjoying the story or it's not. But I always I'm like, oh, the writing on the show is sharp. And it's just really good. And also, it's the only show that I didn't blow through right away, because I seem to find a show I like and then watch it all over a weekend. But this is the one show I only watch one episode a week, and I'm kind of almost, I think I'm on the last episode of the second season, and it was a slow burn, and I liked it a lot.
Okay.
Recommend it.
Totally not the show I pictured in my head.
What do you think it was?
I don't know. I thought it was some magical bullshit.
No, it's not. Miss Maisel could be a witchy,
That's what it sounds like.
Witchy name. No,
That's what it sounds like to
she's
me.
just a Jew in New York. That's it. And also the set deck is great. Like the 50s New York they do.
Yeah.
It's great, man. Anyway, the jokes are good too, and you get to see her boobs. Sorry.
That's a glowing endorsement if I've ever heard one.
There you go.
All right, so Miss Maisel is worth checking out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not just for the
Well, I know
boobs.
you're a big fan of stand-up comedy, so that's probably another reason why you really like it.
Yeah, I'm super in the Joe Rogan world. I listen to all that shit, so I love stand-up comedy.
Okay. Well, funny thing, getting back to
Let's
Jordan
get back
Peele
to
for
it.
a second, and something that I don't know if you've heard of this movie, Spiral.
I don't know that movie.
Okay, so
I'm seeing the thing on your
All
phone.
right,
I
so
don't know it.
one film franchise that I've never really been a big fan of. We saw the first one and liked it, but then they
Is
made
it Short
a
Circuit? The little robots.
Johnny Five is Alive.
Yeah, Johnny Five.
Why ain't they rebooting that shit?
Short Circuit? The little animation robots that Steven Spielberg directed.
There you go.
Yeah, that's not it.
No.
Okay, keep going.
Anywho, we saw the first one in theaters years ago, and it was Saw.
Yeah,
kind of a revolution in horror in a sense, but ultimately ended up
I
turning.
didn't like it.
You didn't like the first one?
I realized pretty quickly this movie was trying to freak you out in a bad way.
But you didn't like the first movie, like the twist and how the story ended up wrapping up at the end. Like, if they'd have just made one Saw movie, which was that very first one, which, yes, was violent, but not super over the top like the sequels, would you not have a problem with it?
No, I agree. If it was a one and done, it would have been a very unique package.
It would have been.
But then they did the Candyman thing. And
Yeah, they did. They did
never
tons of sequels, which were just fucking awful. I didn't even watch all of them.
I think I've only seen the second half of the second one and then abandoned the series.
Yeah,
altogether.
I just pretty much same thing. Second one, got off the boat immediately. Just
also
not my thing.
really liked in the first one they had the guy from The Princess Bride.
They did, yes.
That was that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was always like, oh, that guy's still in movies, Actually, he's in Miss Maisel season 2 too.
Yeah, he was also in Stranger Things the last season as the mayor.
Yes, he was.
The guy's had a really great career. But the reason I'm talking about this is they're actually in a way sort of soft rebooting it. But just like how Jordan Peele is someone who's been involved in comedy, is now working in horror, this is a movie that, believe it or not, is actually being done and created by Chris Rock.
I heard Chris Rock is expanding what he does.
He did, yeah. And I mean, Chris Rock, that guy, he is making a brand new movie. And you know who else is going to be in it? Samuel L. Jackson.
In Saw?
In Saw. Except that's the thing. This is not like a traditional Saw. It's called Spiral from the book of Saw, or simply just titled Spiral. And they're it is connected to the other movies, but at the same time, it's like a brand new take on the entire story. And they've already released a trailer for it.
Okay.
And I don't know what direction they're going with it now. At first, you don't even know that it's like a Saw trailer. It just looks like Chris Rock is playing a cop who's on the edge, and he's actually kind of funny too.
Wait, he's directing and he's in it?
Well, he's actually the director of the movie is not Chris Rock, but the entire story is by Chris Rock.
Oh, so he's the writer.
Yeah, and he's the one who actually
Okay.
he really wanted to do this, and he's also starring in the movie as well. And he's going to be playing a detective. Same thing
On the edge.
Yeah, exactly. But this is another one of those things where they're taking someone who traditionally works in comedy. Chris Rock, of course, being a very famous stand-up comedian.
One of the top ones in the world.
SNL
sure.
alumni.
Yep.
He starred in a lot of really funny movies. And
Legendary bits.
Exactly. And now he's starring in a reboot of Saw, of all things, a movie which is basically seen as the trash bin of horror at this point. Even people who like Saw recognize, oh yeah, these sequels are absolute shit.
What was that other torture porny movie series?
Hostel.
Yes. They all sort of blended together.
They did at that point. There was a period in time where that was kind of a thing.
Like the mid 2000s where they started putting out all these torture porn movies.
Yeah, directed by Eli Roth, who I think is talented, but man, he can make some shitty movies. Point is, I just think it's interesting that all these guys who are traditionally with comedy are now starting to go over to horror, and not only that, but they're elevating horror. They're taking what is the trashiest, forgettable kind of crap that people just forget about, critics don't even acknowledge, and they're raising it up and making it something a little different here. And this is the first time I've been interested in Saw since the first movie, simply because of who's working on it.
It's a soft reboot if it's like named different. Why isn't it just inspired by Saw and it's just its own thing?
It's just because of what they've said.
They've said, okay, you've read enough to know
like I
that?
said,
Okay.
the actual movie is Spiral from the book of Saw, and they say that it's, and hilariously enough, this is the 9th installment. I didn't even know there were that many. I thought they only did like 4. Apparently they did a lot fucking more than that. So this will be the 9th Saw film, but it's going for something a little different this time, it looks like. And again, it's got people who are traditionally with comedy like a part of it.
But this time, it's personal.
Yeah, exactly. And there are parts of the trailer I have to admit, like, when you see Samuel L. Jackson, it's kind of hard to not kind of laugh a little bit.
Y'all better let me out of here.
You can almost see him winking at the screen a little bit. But at the same time, again, it's got me interested. So yeah, like comedy and horror are finally starting to.
It doesn't blow my mind. Look, if you're a stand-up comedian, a good one. Let's say you're in the top 1% of stand-up comedians. There's probably only less than 2,000 of those people.
And Chris Rock is a legend.
It's hard to write comedy, and you have to set things up to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't. I guess you can just say random one-liners like Mitch Hedberg if you want to.
Yeah.
But like real long-form writing of a joke is a hard thing to do, and I bet that skill transfers into writing a story about intense emotion. You know?
Honestly, that is such a great point. I really think that's why Jordan Peele excels so much at horror films.
Even the Key and Peele sketches take you emotionally somewhere.
Yeah.
They're ridiculous, but they've committed to it that you're kind of believing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like Balake.
And they're done with surprising production value.
Oh, well, they're great. Yeah, they
fantastic
look
acting,
way better.
and the dialogue is just sharp as hell.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think that's the shot in the arm that a lot of these like modern day horror films really need, is that really solid writing. Less emphasis on extreme gore and shit popping out at you with a loud banging sound, and more on crafting a really good dramatic story that affects you on a psychological level.
Yes.
And that's what I think why Jordan Peele's been so successful, and that's why I'm genuinely interested to see what they're going to do with this whole Saw thing.
And I bet Chris Rock can handle it. Like he doesn't put out crap, and he also knows what it takes. Like I still think being a stand-up comedian is you got to go put in the hours, stand in front of an audience, get good at your jokes. So he understands the process of creation, and I feel like him with some good cinematography and a good director that can follow his writing, and him being on set to make sure everything goes well, it's gonna play out well. Are you looking at your ninja?
Well, that's something I wanted to talk about. I wanted to kind of end the show with something a little weird.
A little more Pokemon-y?
Yes. I know you're not a super big Pokemon fan, but I know that you at least play Smash Brothers.
I do, and I also play Stardew Valley, which is my new favorite obsession.
You just wanted an excuse to talk about Stardew Valley.
I got an awesome blueberry patch.
Go ahead, let it out.
So I don't know if you guys even know what Stardew Valley is. It's a farm simulator, which automatically would put me off if someone asks. So it's like it's a farm simulator, and but it's like more like Animal Crossing, where you're part of a little town. And the way you make money is you grow crops, and you have to like water them, and you have to pick which crops will grow. And like they tell you, like you get 30 days per season, so you get like a spring, 30 days of spring, 30 days of summer, 30 days of fall, 30 days of winter, and then your game time is about 3 years, so you get 3 seasons. And it's a lot of fun, and it is a low RPM like mind turn off game where you just sit around and you press very few buttons and there is a cave system or an abandoned mine where you can battle things, but it's essentially pressing A, and then you just sword swipe. It's very like Minecraft level of combat.
Well, I was watching you play it. It almost looked like an old like Zelda game.
I love 16-bit looking games.
Yeah.
Like that to me, that limitation is a fun thing that someone overcomes to make an engaging game.
Yeah.
Because
I think 16-bit can look really good when it's done by the right creators.
Yeah, and there was that other one, Highlight Drifter. What was that other game I was showing you that I love that's on Switch now?
I remember it was just insane looking.
Anyway, it's like that one's more like Zelda. But anyway, the Stardew Valley is a fun farm sim. And yeah, it's so easy to make fun of because remember Farmville on Facebook and shit? It's not like that. It's way better.
I mean, those type of games have always been, life simulators, farm simulators, everything from Harvest Moon to The Sims. Like, those have always been really popular.
But I always thought they were for, like, young teenage girls, and I don't mean to be, like, discriminatory like that.
I mean, you're turning into a young woman, so...
my body is going through changes.
It is. You're getting hair in places you never had it before. You're looking at boys. Or girls. It's 2020.
2020, people.
Who knows?
Both. Stardew Valley is awesome. It's like $15 for your Switch. Go get it. When you can't afford any of your bills because you played it all day and you didn't go to work on time and you got fired, but you have an awesome blueberry patch, hit me up.
Oh, man. I'm just waiting for you to hit Animal Crossing at this point.
I'm so scared to play that game now because I really like Stardew Valley.
Yep. You might get into Animal Crossing.
Oh, no.
But getting back to Pokemon for a bit, like I said, you know a little bit about Pokemon. You play Smash Brothers.
Pokemon.
So you play as Lucario and Greninja and Charizard and all that shit.
Yep.
Big Pokemon events have been going down in the last week because there's been Pokemon Day, and they just did a big poll, and they revealed the top 10 Pokemon of 2020, and I just wanted to let you know what some of those are, and some of them are kind of interesting, some of which you are very familiar with. Number 10 is my boy Gengar. Just broke into the list. Of course, he would be my number 1, but just the fact that he made it in is awesome. Number 9 is Gardevoir, a Pokemon that you've probably never heard of. I'll just go ahead and say this. If you look up Gardevoir in Google Images, be warned.
No shit. What's the internet rule? Rule 30.
Rule 34.
Yeah.
Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to look up Gardevoir right now.
Just don't write sexy after.
I'm not going to at all. I don't even have to. I'll just go to Google Images.
Oh, it's a female-looking Pokemon.
It's a female-looking Pokemon, and so far it's pretty PG, which I have to say is it didn't take long to start seeing weird shit.
Now they're turning into ponies.
Okay. So yeah, yep. Suddenly Gardevoir has a giant bust. Number 8 is Rayquaza.
I've heard that name many a time.
Basically the giant Shenlong or Shenron looking.
I will say that's probably one of the coolest Pokemon names I've heard in a long time.
Rayquaza?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that one, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one right there.
Oh, I've seen that Pokemon.
Yeah, he's a classic Pokemon, really awesome. Love him a lot. We also have number 7. We have Garchomp. Garchomp essentially is like a shark dragon kind of thing. He's actually one of my favorite dragon type Pokemon.
Oh yeah, is he a legendary?
He is not a legendary. He's a pseudo legendary, which basically is just a fancy way of saying he is really fucking powerful.
And you can use him in tournaments.
Yes, that is correct. The next spots, which actually go to 6 and 5, are actually 2 Eevee evolutions. One of them is Sylveon, which is the fairy Eevee evolution, who I'm not exactly that big a fan of.
That looks stupid.
But believe it or not, that thing is a fucking dragon murderer.
Oh,
Fairy
really?
types destroy dragons.
Oh yeah,
which
dragon
I always found kind of
murderers.
Interesting. Right below that, though, is my favorite Eevee evolution and arguably the coolest looking one, Umbreon.
Oh yeah, that's cooler.
Umbreon is fucking
Looks
awesome.
like a Doberman or something.
It is. Now I don't even need to look up this one. Number 4 is Charizard.
I don't know which one that is.
Surprised he didn't even break into the top 3, which is actually kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 3, which is a really big shock because typically Pikachu is on this list and he's not even there at all. But ironically, at number 3 is Mimikyu.
Oh, the fake Pikachu ghost Pokemon.
There you go. Exactly. You know that one, also appearing in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And these last 2 I know that you definitely know. Number 2 is Lucario.
Yeah.
You play as him all the time in Smash Bros.
I love how, because I get hit a lot in Smash. Like, I'm not an elite Smash player. So I love that Lucario, he gets more dangerous the more you beat him up.
Exactly.
Like, I'm like, that's great. Because I'll just, if you destroy my meter, it won't really matter because I'll kill you before you kill me.
Exactly. So yeah, Lucario's always been a really popular Pokemon. But coming in at number 1 is a Pokemon that has been just super popular since its introduction, and it is none other than Greninja.
What's the second half of that name?
Ninja. Exactly.
Yeah,
that's why he's popular. Greninja has always been super popular since his introduction. Hilariously, a Pokemon that you still cannot catch in Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Oh, you can, but only for the price of $19.99.
Exactly. Only for the low price of this DLC can you maybe get this Pokemon.
I called that. I knew it. Whenever you said they weren't going to release all the Pokemon at once, I was like, oh, they're going to release them as DLC.
Well, that's the thing. They haven't released all of them at once, but you're pretty much right. They're charging DLC. Well, here's the good thing. You technically don't have to buy that DLC to get these Pokemon. Someone can trade them to you, but if you want the story elements, you got to pay for it.
I don't care about that part, but I still think it's a pain in the ass. Like, I should be able to, if you release those, don't let me have the story. Mm-hmm. Like, say, oh, there's a new island, but it's blacked out until you pay for the expansion pack. Mm-hmm. But I want those Pokemon in my world now available.
Someone can still trade them to you, though.
Yeah, but I shouldn't need to do that because there's all the Pokemon.
You just want to be able to capture them.
Yeah. I want to be able to build the team from the base game that I want that's within the Pokemon world. I think that's a fair request.
Well, you're going to have to pay for it.
Yes. But I'm not, because I'm not going to play that game.
Nope.
I'm going to play Stardew Valley and build my blueberry bushes.
Anywho, but those were the top 10 most popular Pokemon of the year. And obviously, we'd like to hear yours in the comments section below. I think that's a pretty good segue into wrapping up today's episode, which, yes, was a little all over the place. And unfortunately, we did not get to talk about One Piece. We will definitely talk about that chapter in the following podcast.
We might make an episode tomorrow. If it comes out.
If it comes out.
Yeah.
It might not, though. As far as I know, it might be delayed to Sunday or maybe even later on the 8th. Yep. Also going to go ahead and say there probably will be one more episode next week of the Powerful Nerdcast. There probably will not be one the following week. I'm going to be on vacation. I will be returning right after that, and then we will get right back on the podcast horse. But again, we want to thank you guys for listening to the episode today, for watching. Make sure to sound off in the comment section below about any of the topics that we talked about today, whether it be everything from Candyman to Pokemon and everything in between. If you guys have any suggestions for some topics you would like us to talk about, maybe any questions for us, absolutely anything, please let us know in the comments section below. And of course, if you liked this video, one of the best ways to help support it is to simply watch it, give it a thumbs up, share it with all your friends.
Smash that like button.
Exactly. But if you want to go the extra mile, please make sure to support us through our Patreon and PayPal accounts and Amazon link. You can find links for all that stuff in the description box below. Remember, a little bit goes a very long way. Christian, you want to leave us with anything else?
Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, we'll see you then. Peace.